Hey, what's up everybody? Ed the Pond Professor here. We are in the middle of the Hobbit House project. It is looking phenomenal, but I want to take this time to introduce you to my incredible wife, Ellen. She's inside. This is where she does her goat yoga events as well as some of the other animal interactions, and I think this new water feature is going to be key. Ellen!
Hi everyone!
What do you do here?
We created this space to do yoga classes in and to do animal interaction. Put a yoga instructor and people just have a blast with our goats. Everyone asks what goat yoga is, and it's really taking the awesome practice of yoga and animal assisted therapy and kind of marrying it together. The magic that happens when animal and people get together, which is kind of our mission here at the farm anyways. We do a lot of private parties also. People love and are looking for an opportunity to engage with animals. I know myself, I just wanted to sit quietly with a horse or with a goat and had to create our own farm to do that, but I wanted something more than what you'd really find at like a petting zoo.
Speaking of animals, let's go check them out. When we originally bought the place, this was just one big open room. We created like hay lofts and that type of stuff for feeding the animals.
We hear Margie over here, she may be just starting labor. She was due a couple days ago, so she might be a little uncomfortable.
Oh my gosh.
So it's gonna probably be a long night. These are our miniature horses, and we have one miniature donkey. This is Jack, our donkey. Say hi. And this is Jester. He was born on the farm. These are all rescues, and this is where we have 15 goats total. I'm filming some content for a library, so I'm gonna start reading some books for them, and they're gonna put it on their website. I think I'm gonna go get ready with my birthing kit, because I may be birthing a baby this evening, so I'm gonna get going.
You do that, I gotta go help the rest of the guys out there. Let's get the construction going, make it a wrap. We're putting in our fabric right now. Now, normal backyard installations, we go with the standard Underlayment Fabric, which is basically a weed barrier. In this application, just like we did at Blake's Exotic Ranch, Camp Cannon, and a lot of other animal interactive projects, we use heavy duty material under the liner, the rubber liner, and then another layer of the heavy fabric on top. It's going to create a really nice protective barrier in between. Anything that will potentially get inside of this pond, we don't want to have any damage to the rubber membrane. This will take care of it for us.
I love my job.
Hi, Mom King.
Hello.
Well, after acting like I was gonna have to stay up all night, miraculously, this mama had babies all on her own for the first time. They're two little boys. They're really sweet. Mama is really concerned about their cleanliness and has already been feeding them.
All right, these are the two that were born. This is Dale and Brennan, and they just became best friends.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
See, Charlie has the big seat rock. So this is a big giant piece of sandstone. We're going to position that over on this side. Remember, that's all going to get bermed up. We will then come in with plantings to kind of create a little bit of a windbreak, as well as to kind of tighten up the space a little bit. Let's bring this big rock in. I am checking out some of the plant material at Doty Nursery in Elburn, Illinois. This is going to be the finishing touches that I'm looking for once we get the main structure of all the large plants, which is what they have here. Then we're going to start filling in underneath that with all the different perennial material. Let's check them out. We just got this beautiful bald cypress right here. We also just picked out some poplars, which Ellen has been talking about for many, many years. A fringe tree. We got some really cool cedars. Oh, we got that tricolor beech too. I forgot about the tricolor. Check these guys out. Got some incredible specimens out here at Doty's. Look at these beautiful little cypress. We have a trio of these. They're going to stay a little bit more compact, which is kind of what we're looking for the Hobbit House. We want to try to get a little bit more funky type stuff, and I think these will really do it for us. I am super excited, not because my water feature's looking great, because trees have just arrived. Let's go check them out. We just finished moving the fire pit, starting to grade this out. Just planted these really cool quaking aspen. They're just these really cool columnar spires going up. Kind of blends in with some of that stuff over in the background. I also wanted to make sure that I blended everything together. So we have so much height over here. I wanted to get a little bit of that height over on that side as well. Beautiful tricolor beech over there in the background. We have a fringe tree, serviceberry is one of my favorites, and then also bald cypress. So I'm going to try to position some of those things over on this side. I'm taking my time. I'm planting everything up. We're going to get our sod in. We're going to do a little bit of mulch. Doing a little bit more stone work, and we needed some more retaining wall stuff over in here just to kind of transition down a little bit. We've already planted the false cypresses. It's not a big space, but we wanted to kind of create a little bit of a layering effect, kind of going in and out of some of that stone wall that we did. We have one of my favorites, which is a serviceberry, small shrub, kind of multi-stemmed, edible fruit. It's got beautiful white flowers, and it has incredible fall color as well. So the idea behind this, and from a design perspective, we want to have corridors open. I don't want a big mass of vegetation. I want to have a mass, and I want to have an opening so I could see all that stuff in the background that we've done. So we're trying to create layers. I also love kind of the rolling aspect of this. We have height over here. So we have our mature trees transitioning over here. We still have some nice height over in this section. It's going to drop down a little bit by the cypress, and then it's going to pop back up again over in this section with that tricolor beech, and then eventually that beautiful bald cypress is just going to have this beautiful canopy and crown above it. Time for the finishing touches. We keep putting in the plant material, put in that beautiful bald cypress. I love the little white fringe tree up on top by the waterfall. Now we're coming in with those tiger eye sumacs. Tricolor beech really makes a stand, and we just picked up these really cool little junipers. Ellen is just tucking in some really cool sedums in these little pockets and things that we put in between the boulders. And these little sunflowers are really cool, but they only get about 12 inches tall. So we finished grading everything. Jim is just starting to lay down the sod right now. Gonna cover this entire area. Want to have that nice little soft green carpet go right up to the edge of all that stone. It'll kind of create a really nice transition area. We have good soil to work with. Just shouldn't take too long. Okay, sod is done. Just having that little bit of green makes all the difference in the world. Nice transition up to those tan stones. Really kind of brightens everything up. It's gonna soften it, keeping that dust down. So the whole idea with this, trying to create like a unique alpine type of a landscape. So slow growing trees, very dwarf type things that are not going to be really thick and lush. I want to focus a lot on the stonework and the sparse vegetation. I love creating the different layers. We have a large piece of property. I don't want to wall everything off. I just want to try to create strategic screening areas and then have those open views that are going off into the distance. The area where I'm standing right now is going to lead to a small fire pit that's going to be over on the back side. So this is the starting point for the entire stream. So this is the intake bay. This is where all the pumps are located. This is a pre-filter system. So the water gets drawn down through the layer of gravel and the rock that you see here, down through the aqua blocks, and then over to the pump. From the pump, it gets recirculated all the way up to the top. And then we have this beautiful little deep meandering stream in between. I love this type of a look, like a deep series of pools and cascades that kind of roll together. It's still deep enough where I could kind of cool off. It's deep enough to have fish, so it's going to allow us a lot of different opportunities for interaction here on the property. So right behind me, we have this beautiful oak log, which kind of frames out the backside of the pond and waterfall. But what I want to point out is this little dry creek bed on the backside of that. The reason I put this in, I think it was going to be a nice little visual tie with the actual stream system, but it's also doing a functional component for me. So during a heavy rain, if I got water coming off the roof, it will cascade over those logs, fall down into the little creek bed, and then work its way towards the pond. The other thing that this does from a visual standpoint, as you look across from the distance, that's going to give you a nice little viewing area going towards the window inside of the Hobbit House. So I'm standing right in front of the little Hobbit House window. So this will eventually have like a nice little round window, kind of creating that viewing portal going out into the garden space. But what I love about this is all the little details that we did in and around it. I wanted to really highlight this area. Came in with these beautiful oak logs. We created all these little nooks and crannies to bring in some succulents and low growing plants. Remember that alpine type of a look. Plants that are going to grow in this type of a zone, they could handle very hot, dry weather. They don't have really deep root structures. And that's because of the weight. I designed this for 6 to 8 inches of soil, so I chose the appropriate plant material that's going to give me the desired look. So for this feature, I chose to do a mixture of different stone. I have weathered limestone, I have sandstone moss rock, and then I have granite stone. The mixture of those three really work well together. The other thing I want to point out here from the waterfall perspective is I have over 35 tons of stone that are used on this entire project. But what I love about this is replicating nature. When you look at a steep waterfall, it's usually found at the higher elevations. You go up into the mountains of Canada, California, Colorado, you have really steep cliffs. You're going to have very fast, high-flowing waterfalls that are going to crash down. Then as you start coming down into that lower elevation, everything starts to flatten out a little bit. You get a little bit more tumbled action. And then as you go downstream, the waterfalls change, you get logs, you get trees falling inside of it. You're gonna have more smooth, rounded rocks, which is where the granite stone comes in play, which is exactly what we did over here. Really fun playing around from a design perspective as well as construction. So thanks for joining us on this incredible build. It's been a fun project for the past 6 weeks since we started all this. It's been an incredible journey. Ellen, what do you think of the outcome?
Well, I think it's beautiful. I think the people that come out here to see this waterfall, I think is going to be a great additional adventure for them.
So stay tuned for further updates. We're going to constantly be doing stuff out here. Not only do we have the Hobbit House to finish up, but we have that new water feature that we're going to be doing right here for your animals. The other ecosystem ponds, streams, waterfalls, fountains, you name it.
And I just want to remind people that animals are super fun and you cannot be grumpy around goats.
Well, it's been fun. We'll see you on the next build.